Voice. What is it? A verb's voice identifies the agent. The agent of a sentence is look at the verb and then ask yourself who or what is doing the action in this verb. So if I take the very first verse of Scripture, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, the verb is clearly created. And when I ask myself who's doing the creating, then it's clearly God. So the agent of this sentence, the agent of this verb, is God. Now, in terms of voice, then, the crucial question becomes, is the agent also the subject of the verb? If the agent is the same thing as the subject, then the verb is active voice. If the agent and the subject are two different things, then the verb is passive voice. Verbs can be either active or passive. And if the agent and the subject are equal, are the same, then the verb is in the active voice. And if they're different, then the verb is in the passive voice. So when Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. So if I look at the verb here, was troubled, and I ask myself, who's doing the troubling? Well, in this particular context, Herod is being troubled by the fact that the wise men have brought him some rather startling news. What is the subject of the verb was troubled? Well, the subject is clearly Herod. The subject is he, which of course refers back to Herod, but the subject of was troubled is he. Well, the wise men and he are not the same. The subject does not equal the agent. Therefore, the verb was troubled is in the passive voice. To go back to our original example, the first verse of Scripture, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Who is doing the creating? What is the subject of this verb? It's God. And therefore, the subject does equal the agent. Hence, the verb created is in the active voice. And all the elders of that city nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. This is clearly the verb. I ask myself, who's doing the breaking? The elders did the breaking. They broke the neck of this heifer. But what is the subject of the verb was broken? Well, the subject here is neck. Again, the subject does not equal the agent. Hence, the verb was broken is in the passive voice. And all the elders of that city nearest to the slain man shall wash. Same verse, but let's look back here at this verse. Who's doing the washing? The elders. What is the subject of the verb? Not man. The elders shall wash their hands. The subject equals the agent. Hence, the verb shall wash is in the active voice. And I'll just point out as well that the word shall or will puts this verb in the future tense.